Happy Mother's Day. I'm in a mood, so this could go any direction. I drove downstate. I was allowed to borrow a vehicle because my vehicle is not sound and has not been sound to travel downstate and upstate for about 2 years. My body, like I've said before, if the pain glowed, but it's all a matter of individual perspective. It's like when a medical person asks you on a scale from 1 to 10, what is your pain level? Well, that's all an individual thing. And the person that you're telling may have no concept of what your pain levels are. And when you have invisible illnesses, but invisible illnesses cover the whole diagnostical statistical manual and the entire whatever number ICD-9. See, I'm grown, and I've lived every day of this life. This one right here did that. It is nobody's business to tell my stories. I will try my best not to tell yours, but if our paths cross and part of your story is part of mine, I will not remain silent to keep your lies or allow your lies and your manipulations to destroy my offspring. But there are people that will read a whole lot into that. That says far more about you than it does about me, because if you can read my mind, if I can envision a life that's called imagination, imagination is not a sin. However, there's scripture that will back up whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are lovely. Think on these things. There are virtues. Everybody wants to dwell on the darkness. There are virtues. There are adverse, and then there are positives. If you continue to focus a life on the adverse and not the positives, then you are going to remain in the adverse. Someone says that I can put, you know what? I just might do that. I just might do that because you're so vain. It is Sunday morning. It is Mother's Day. You probably think the song is about you. You're so vain. Well, when you continue to draw your attention to yourself and your selfishness, because the world evidently revolves around you, you are the Queen Anne. Do you know who Queen Anne is? Like, see, the people that, I mean, I don't have to, I'm not reading anybody's mind. I'm not trashing anyone. Literally, literature, like there's literally, and then there's actually. Do I need to go get my big books? Because I really do prefer to read books with people rather than have books thrown at me or smacked me upside the head. Like I prefer to read books. And part of my Mother's Day plan for today was to cook them a good meal and take them to Ollie's Army and get a new book. But because I borrowed a vehicle graciously, beautifully, wonderfully gifted, because my vehicle will not, and the people that gifted me the use of their vehicle understood that my vehicle will not. They had enough compassion. They had enough grace. They had a moral compass to understand that a mother requires the ability to gather her wings, gather her brood under her wings. But what I did yesterday is a matter of perspective, like pain levels. And I'm supposed to control my emotions, and I'm supposed to keep it child-centered. The details of what experience went on in that house yesterday is private and nobody's business. But when somebody threatens to call the law after leaving a voicemail like I got, when I ask her to be specific as to how I'm trashing her, and she threatens to call the law in front of the children, just like Bethany and Steve did when they called and said I was suicidal. I have the date and I have the paperwork. Saw my sons. Knocked on my son's door yesterday. They were not home. By the grace of God. Everything happens for a reason. I asked the kids if I should leave a note. I bet nobody even mentioned the fact, except me, that we stopped by Josh's house yesterday. Because they were far too busy thinking that the world revolved around them. And I went and took the babies to their blood kin relatives' houses, 2 of them that are down there. The other one has already been very clear that I am not welcome there. She's been very clear that I have been excommunicated, that I have been shunned. And that's acceptable. They call it tough love. There's no such thing as tough love in the Bible. I read it. My father told me to. Maybe you should, instead of getting it spoon-fed to you. See, people think the world revolves around them. So, you're so vain. I have to go to church today. Because they had enough grace and compassion to see that a mother needed to gather her chicks under her wings. Because everybody seems to think I'm the little red hen that's going to do all the work, and then everybody shows up and gleans it once she's gone. They want me dead. I've said it. I'm still saying it. And I have all the evidence. And I have nobody thought it was critical to preserve the children. They just shipped them off. Checked on them once a month. Like in a shelter. Why don't they microchip them too? Throw that one in for free. Y'all. I'm supposed to church today. I'm so angry. And those people are so gracious. And by golly, there is not one father stepping up to tell that boy. Exodus 20. We've not come this far. But they've been steeped into a world where adultery is acceptable. A boy can be a girl can be a boy. And a sealed record. Sealed for a reason. The individual behind that seal is being allowed to interject her stories. I was confronted yesterday, and I did my best to be gracious and say, These are conversations that need to wait until you're older, because right now, your mind cannot wrap around, especially right now. I got screamed at, yelled at, in my face by my husband's girlfriend. I'm not trashing her. I'm speaking my story. This is what happened to me yesterday. But I'm supposed to control my emotions. I'm supposed to conceal, don't feel. Don't feel, conceal. Who sings that song? Let it go, let it go. Can't hold it back anymore. Let it go, let it go. Turn back, slam the door. I put my kids behind the door. I'm supposed to wait quietly in the hallway until they decide to open. They have no idea the hell my children are in right now, and they don't give a shit. But you all have a good Mother's Day.